He might have flipping told us he was starting off at the crack of flaming dawn.
Ah, well, it's the early bird what gets the quad stamps, you see, mate. At least that's what I've heard. What's stamp for?
Good question.
Well, I thought we were going buying in, not for 2 ounce of humbugs. We'll need baskets.
I'm not taking a flipping basket, mate. What's my pockets for? Hey, want to get some fags?
Not so chirpy about it as he were last night, is he?
No, but I am, mate. You see, for weeks now I've had this thing going with a checkout bird from Harrison's, only you don't tend to make much progress when you're sat in a van and she's behind a plate glass window. Look, chuck them in the back, will you, and cover them up before somebody we know sees us.
There's some shopping baskets in Jerry's hand.
Oh, is that what they were?
I'll ask you again then. Where you're off to with 3 shopping baskets.
Shopping? Where else?
I see. And what's wrong with this shop all of a sudden?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all.
Then why are you going shopping somewhere else?
Well, Ray said it'd be cheaper than a supermarket.
Cheaper than what?
Cheaper than Jerry.
Jerry's shop's here.
Yeah.
So, what you're saying is that I'm expensive.
No, I didn't say that.
That's the implication.
Well, like I said, it was Ray's idea.
Why are you going then?
20 fags, please, Laura.
Morning. Hi. Where are you shopping, son? Oh, hello then, lad. I wonder if you can get us a couple of items for the missus. Half a pound of streaky bacon, a packet of porridge and 2 pairs of tights. They'll fit in your baskets.
Oh, heck, it's a good job I'm not a customer. Aren't shop assistants supposed to grin like Cheshire cats?
Oh, sorry, Mrs. Sharples. Just reflecting on life's vicissitudes.
Well, I wouldn't. It's not doing you a for good. Here, when's that Auntie May of yours proposing to move from upstairs here?
Why do you ask?
Well, Nellie Lomax is losing her home in Havelock Street. It's being demolished like a lot of other good and worthwhile things. She doesn't fancy a council flat. She asked me what I could find.
Well, Auntie May's not moving, Mrs. Sharples.
But I understood...
Oh, it's been mooted several times, but she never quite seems to manage it. She's very old, you know, and susceptible to sudden relapses, real and imagined.
Well, what's going to happen to her when you and Ernie Bishop get married? I mean, there isn't room enough up here for...
Oh, I'm glad you said when, Mrs. Sharples.
Oh, that's it. That's why I've got a face like the back of a fish cart.
Well, an actual date does seem to have about as much substance as a mirage.
Of course, it could be that you're not meant to marry Ernie Bishop.
Pardon?
Well, all these snags and delays might be a sign...
A sign?
That you'd be better staying single. I mean, for all you know, Ernie Bishop might be a wife beater. Or he could have 10 kids he's looking for a mother for.
I realise you're pulling my leg, Mrs. Sharples. But even suggesting in fun that I shouldn't marry Ernest isn't, well, funny. I'm something of an oddity. And have no special skills. So if I don't marry Ernest, what do I do? Get more odd. And on top of all that, I love him.
If your Auntie May does decide to lead you, let me know, will you?
Only too delighted, Mrs. Sharples.
Well, it looks like we're in time for the quad stamps. And I see there's a few pee-off icing each other and all.
Yeah, 1 each. I think it's best that we buy our own and then we'll know exactly how much it's cost us.
I'm taking no basket.
Listen, mate, if you start filling your pockets with tins of treacle, you'll be in the local bridewell before you can say thermal heating unit.
Hey, 12 of them, mate. We've cracked it.
Oh, yes. There's nothing I like better than a nice bowl of mulligatawny soup for me breakfast. Grow up, mate,
It's
will you?
purely a promotional line, any road.
Eh?
Placed right in front of your eyes as soon as you come in and offered cheap. Supermarket psychology, that's all that is.
Hello, Brenda, darling.
Oh, hello.
You're looking very fit today. Fit for anything, I'd say. Talking about lines, what about hers? That's the girl I was telling you about.
Yeah, well, there's other traps to be wary of, too.
Listen, she's not a trap. She's like a warm, furry glove, that one.
Look, I thought we were coming shopping, not on a flipping assault course.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to say hello.
You'll find demand lines, such as tea and sugar and such like that, placed below your eye level because they don't need to push them. But impulse lines, such as, like chocolate biscuits, you'll find at your eye level. So be careful. And you can't say that I haven't warned you.
Hey, what about the background music? I thought all these supermarkets had background music.
Sure, I can take you to one around the corner that has a programme ending with Dr. Zhivago theme, if you like.
No, this'll do me, no. Hey, I think I'll have a change. I'll have 2 changes.
One order.
Oh, you should have given us a tinkle. I could have nipped down and picked him up. Or better still, you could have strapped it to our Lucy's back when she comes in to lunch.
It's no trouble. Anyway, I wanted to word with our Betty.
Right, well, I'll go and see if the paymaster's paying out then.
Should have thought that I'd have been the last one you wanted a word with.
Sorry, Betty. I shouldn't have lost my temper like that.
I can say that again.
Well, my nerves have been a bit on edge, you know, with all the trouble Irma leaving like she did seems to have caused.
And all the bother seems to be of your own making.
Well, perhaps some of it has, but I've still had a lot of pestering to put up with. I didn't invite that.
Look, all me and Cyril did, we wanted to buy Irma's share. Thought we were doing you a favour till yesterday.
Well, you still went about it in a pretty cack-handed way, especially Cyril.
I thought you'd come round here to apologise.
Oh, I have. I'm sorry for what I said, honestly.
What is it about me that you dislike
Oh,
so?
don't be
No,
silly.
there's something. There always has
There
been.
isn't.
I don't like being disliked. I mean, I get on very well with everybody. Excepting, of course, Hilda Ogden.
It's just, well, we're different temperaments.
Well, all I can say is your temperament's been your undoing.
Possibly.
And that's all it is.
Yes.
Right. Well, yesterday's a closed book then, as far as I'm concerned. And I think I can say the same for my Cyril.
God. That's quite enough falling out in the world without sisters doing it.
Yeah.
There you are, Maggie.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Walker.
£2.55. My orders don't get any cheaper, do they?
Oh, don't you start, Mrs. Walker.
Pardon?
Well, Len and Ray and Jerry have just gone shopping at Harrison's to try and save a few
Oh,
pieces.
supermarkets aren't the answer, Maggie. I think we ought to go back to a sort of barter.
And you pull her a pound and she gives you a packet of margarine back for it.
Packet of best butter, especially if it's been best bitter.
Hey, you're only buying in for one, are you?
Yeah, of course I am. Yeah.
Oh, well, I just wondered.
Hey, you're dead right, you know, about this being cheaper than the corner shop. I mean, look at that. Chow mein with shrimps, 22p.
Yeah, well, the corner shop don't sell chow mein with shrimps. They're chow mein with hotels, for that matter.
Oh, aye, but if they did, it'd be cheaper, wouldn't it? I mean, look, you can't whack that, 22p. You pay 60 for that in a Chinese nosh house, you know. Where's the meat stall?
It's over the other side, so you have to pass everything else to get to it. More psychology.
It's a lot of rubbish, that psychology, you know. I mean, you got to be a bit of a mug to fall for it, haven't you?
I can't say Auntie May is actually preventing the wedding. Obviously, she's not. No, she's more a sort of plastic bag, if you understand, smothering our resolve, which isn't difficult considering now that Emily and me are over-endowed with resolve.
Must be very hard for you, Ernest.
Yeah, not to mention frustrating. Frustrating, having to wait for, well, so long.
How long's it been now, Ernest?
We've been engaged exactly 8 months, give or take a day or two.
8 months.
Incredible.
It's a long, long time.
An age.
I suspect Emily's starting to chafe at the bit.
And who can blame her?
She's only human.
She's beginning to doubt it'll ever happen, I think.
8 months.
Well, there is a limit to hope.
I suppose I ought to make a decision. Do something.
Well, I would,
Yeah, to hell with convention, that's what I say.
Hey? What?
Just a figure of speech.
Right. I will do something then. It's gone on long enough. It's time something happened. 8 months! It's a wonder we're not both round the bend.
I don't think it is.
I don't think he had a clue.
What it is to be pure in heart.
Oh, I don't know. No, it can cost you a lot of fun, can it? Alan, what do you think it was he intended doing?
No.
No.
Well, I'm certainly prepared to let bygones be bygones, especially if it's to our advantage.
Well, obviously it is. I mean, why else would she come round here to apologise?
I knew she'd come to her senses. I mean, it'd be crazy not to keep it in the family.
Oh, our Maggie's very moody, you know. It does spoil her.
Oh, well, you can stand a bit of moodiness, love, though, eh? If you're coining it in.
Shop would be an interest more than an investment, we said.
Ah, we did, but you'll not be turning your nose up at any profit you make, will you? You know, I reckon with your experience and jolly personality, you could turn that shop into a little gold mine.
Yeah, and you mean you could stop at home, tinkering with your clocks and watches?
Well, somebody's got to look after the house.
Betty, could I have 2 more pints, please, love? Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Stephen. Quite a nice day.
Oh, very fair, Mrs. Walker, in more ways than one.
Oh?
It looks like you might be losing the missus.
Indeed, why?
Well, things are coming to a climax on the corner shop front.
Oh, she hasn't mentioned it.
Well, negotiations have been a little tricky.
Yes, I gather so. But do you really think it would be worth her while to buy into the shop? After all, you know, she has got a job, and the returns aren't that high from all I hear.
Maybe not at the moment, but I've got 1 or 2 ideas to improve them.
Oh? Such as?
I always thought there was room for a beer, wines and spirits side to the business.
Oh, you're kidding me, darling. You've got to be more than just pleasant and bright to do your job. More like a cross between Amy MacDonald and Alfred Einstein, you know, like yourself.
You can't spin a line rail, Langton.
Yeah, I know, but is it getting me anywhere?
I'm married.
I said, is it getting me anywhere?
Come on, Ray, we've done here.
It's good, this, you know, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I can see that, What's the track record for this place, love?
Eh?
Because whatever it is, I'm about to shatter it. Hey up!
He's going to kill somebody if he ain't careful. Right, who's first?
Oh, I think you best do him first. He's on pins to see how much he saved by coming here.
$5.92.
Oh, come in, Mrs. Walker. Sit yourself down.
Thank you.
Well, what can I do for you?
I want to make a firm offer for Irma's share of the shop.
You want to make it?
Correct.
You yourself?
I myself personally.
But when you mentioned it last week, you said you were making inquiries for a friend.
Well, I suppose I still am. Well, not exactly.
I'm puzzled, I really am. Besides, you said your friend had lost interest.
Well, now, shall we say that interest has been rekindled?
Oh. Why?
Well, because of information that has come into her, well, into my possession.
What information?
Well, I'd rather not discuss it.
I see. Well, can you discuss who your friend is, seeing as are the office firm now?
Lucille, actually.
Lucille? Oh, she never mentioned anything.
She doesn't know.
Well, you're a right one for confusing things. I will say that for you, Mrs. Walker.
No, really, dear, it's quite simple. You see, Lucille's lifestyle of late has really been very disappointing. In fact, it's been that way ever since she left school. And I thought the responsibility of being part owner of a business might give her an anchor in life.
Well, that's very generous of you, I must say. And she is very good in her shop.
Well, I am her guardian, you know. I'm responsible.
And that's the only reason you want to buy, is it? Something for Lucille to do?
Yes, of course.
Well, I'll have to think it over then, won't I?
Please. But I would be obliged if you wouldn't say anything to Lucille until things are, well, finalised.
Hey, now, hang on a minute. I've only said I'd think it over.
Ah, yes, but that's purely a formality, isn't it? After all, you and I would be virtually business partners, a sort of local monopoly, which is always a comfort. I must be going.
Bye.
Sorry, but we really are booked up to the hilt. One more Easter wedding would break the tripod, so to speak. Sorry.
Afternoon. Something you said?
She wanted to book an Easter wedding.
Oh.
Apparently it was a last-minute decision, the wedding.
Oh, really?
But I doubt she'll find anyone to take the photographs now.
No chance.
I suppose that's one advantage we would have. We could take our own photographs. Well, some of them. If we did decide to have an Easter wedding, that is. Or indeed, if we could have an Easter wedding.
Emily,
Yes, Ernest.
we can and we will get married at Easter.
Pardon?
I said we can and we will get married at Easter.
How? What about Auntie?
Well, we're stuck with her, aren't we?
Well, to be exact, I'm stuck with her.
We
Ernest.
faced that situation and we put her on the staff.
Put her on the staff? How do you mean?
Take her to live with us.
The three of us live together?
My house is big enough.
No, Ernest, it's not on.
Why?
Oh, we'd be betraying a dream. Well, I would be anyway.
What dream?
Silly, ridiculous, romantic dream, perhaps, but a very precious one all the same.
What dream?
That there'd be just the two of them. Just the two of us. In fact, I think it's rather an essential. Marriage is a very intimate relationship, something I've not had much experience of. I'm not sure I'd be up to a third party being present. Well, not for a kick-off. I'd like to think I was going to make my mistakes in private.
Emily,
Yes?
do you want to get married?
Oh, what a question to ask.
And Auntie May is what's stopping us?
Well, it seems so.
All right, then. We get married. And we take her to live with us, all right?
Well, perhaps in a week or two she'll
I
find
said,
somewhere...
all right, Emily?
All right.
Oh, good. Well, that's settled then. And the first on the list to hear the glad tidings are Messrs. Howard and Barlow.
Oh, why?
Or a little leg pulling they were indulging in at our expense. They thought I didn't know what they were on about.
Shall I book us in then? For Easter?
Why not? As you say, I can take your photograph and Vicky Verkey.
Or we can use a delayed action shutter?
I focus, nip round to your side, and click, the happy bride and groom.
I better close my eyes at the wrong moment.
You dare!
Right, I think that's my lot. My bill comes to £3.44. Ray, how much did you spend?
Me? Well, about the same as Len.
And how much would that be then?
Len?
Above £5.
How much above £5?
About 82p.
You never did you? You know you're a supermarket manager's dream, you are. A shopping sucker.
And how much did you spend then?
£5.30.
A £5.30? You went round in 10 seconds. If you'd have been on the job as long as me, you'd have spent over £10, wouldn't you?
Oh, rubbish. I'd have been much more selective.
Selective? You don't know the meaning of the word. Judging by that bird you were chatting up all day.
What's wrong with her?
She was an old boot.
She's only 19.
Well, she was a young old boot then.
You two finished?
Well, she's better than some of the old boot
I said, have you two both finished?
Eh?
Because I'd like to get down to the point of this exercise.
What point?
Well, I understood that you two was trying to prove that you could buy in for less than I do. And for less than what I want you to give me for grub each week, I might add. £4.
Well, look, I don't think this is something you can make a snap judgment about, Jerry. I mean, we've only had one bash.
Ah, be fair.
Yes, but you've still managed to spend more than a £5. And that's not taking into account milk and eggs and third meal a 6 during rest at week.
Well, I still say we should take an average over, say, what, a month?
No, more.
A month? You two comics buy in for a month, you'll be pulling your finger rings to buy ale, you will. What? And 3 lumps of fillet steak at 52p a lump? Viennese flipping coffee. 3 different sorts of cereal. What's this? Cheese with pips on it. I've warned you about supermarket psychology, haven't I? They have what you call matching lights in a cheese display. They can make a bar of carbolic salt look appetising. And what's this? Mexican honey. Anybody would think that you was buying in for Prince Rainier or a couple of building site layabouts. Right, I'll tell you what I'll do. There's going to be no month's trial, not even a week. Starting from now, I want £6 a week off each of you for grub, else I'm packing in housekeeping. And I want to answer now.
Well, I'm very glad for you, Annie, and especially Emily.
I'm glad for myself, Elsie. For a variety of reasons.
Such as?
Pardon? I'm not as daft or as innocent as you two seem to think.
I don't know what he's talking about, do you?
No idea.
Have you been pulling your leg, honey?
Just a little.
Are you going to have a big do, a white wedding?
Well, we only go to the very grandest weddings, don't we?
Yeah, that's been the crypt to the House of Commons, actually.
You haven't been invited yet, either of you, have you, Annie?
Oh, I think we can squeeze them in to make up the numbers, you know. Now, will you all have a drink on me?
That's very nice of you, Ernest. Have a large brandy, please.
Yeah, and I'll have a similar.
And you'll have what you usually sup and leave the lad alone.
I don't mind having my leg pulled, Elsie. It's a lot of the prospective bridegroom, isn't it? Billy!
Oh, good evening, Mrs. Walker. I hope you've not come to tell me off for taking up too much time in barmaids.
Bar assistant, if you don't mind. Indeed not. I'm in far too good a humour to fall out with anyone.
Well, that makes 3 of us, then.
As a matter of fact, Mr. Turpin, you're one of the reasons for my good spirits.
Oh?
Yes. It was something you said about the possibility of introducing wines and spirits into the corner shop. I shouldn't have thought that'd have cheered you up. No, but it inspired me to go and see Maggie. What about? Well, to discuss an alternative proposition. A rather attractive proposition. Yes, rather attractive. I must go and congratulate dear Ernest. She's up to something.
Not to mention your Maggie.
Oh, wait, Cyril's in. I don't want to get involved with him. I'll sit down.
Aye, all right, I'll get you a drink, love. What do you want, sherry?
Oh, yes, no, thanks.
Aye, Ken. Could I have a pint of bitter and a glass of sherry, please, Betty? Just in case you're wondering, we met on the doorstep by accident.
Did I say anything different?
Oh, just in case you're thinking it.
I believe Maggie's been having a caller.
Huh?
Annie Walker.
I wouldn't know. So.
Well, you heard him. He said he wouldn't know.
What did Cyril say?
Something about Annie Walker calling.
Yeah, she did.
Oh?
She wants to buy into the shop for Lucille.
For Lucille?
Yeah, talk about being between the devil and the deep blue sea. An offer from her sister I can't get on with. Now Annie Walker's putting her oar in.
I thought you said you wanted it for Lucille.
Yes, she did. But she'd want her say, wouldn't she? I mean, you know Annie Walker as well as I do.
Oh, aye, she'd be the power behind the throne, that's for certain. Well, you're going to have to make your mind up, you know. One way or the other.
There's another possibility.
Albert Tatlock's not put an offer in, has he?
No, miracles happened. Gordon says he'll lend me the money to buy Irma's share.
Well, there you are. Problem solved.
No, I'm not sure I should take it up. I think it would put by for his wedding.
Rubbish, Lucille. You'd make a lovely bridesmaid.
Can you imagine me in yellow taffeta holding a posy of spring flowers?
You'd look a picture.
Hey, Rod, you're being very nice to me today. What's up?
Nothing, dear.
Never mind, eh? Could always be matron of honour, I could.
You must be joking.
Any more of that and I'll hit you with my clog. And anyway, it's time we were off. Are you coming? See you. Love her.
Hello, Emily. Hello, Emily, love. Hello. What are you having to drink?
Nothing, thank you.
Oh, come on, have a large sherry.
I've just been putting Auntie May to bed, Ernest.
Do you think she'd like a large sherry too?
She refuses point blank to come to live with us. The wedding's off again, I'm afraid.
Don't bloody believe it!